Frequency is the emotional architecture that shapes how humans connect, create, perform, heal, and express identity.
That is the truth.
That's it.
That is it. I can feel it. I've seen it with my own eyes, standing side stage, watching a band play, and watching 50,000 people move at the same time. And they're hypnotized by it.
It's a great visual.
It is a frequency that they can't even help themselves. Hi.
Hi, Leah.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
You want to do the intro?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Peyton.
I'm Leah.
And welcome to Beyond the Scene, where we explore frequency and alignment through the lens of
Fashion,
music,
and art.
And there's like a lot of woo-woo, like dabbled and sprinkled throughout too.
Yeah, lots of woo-woo.
Yeah.
So we're masters in woo-woo.
We're so pop the collar. I think let's start with like how we met and like how we got to the space of, sitting together, like talking about the creative process and how to find authenticity, within that process.
So you and I met a few months back.
Yeah. So it's like May? We're in the end of May right now. So I feel like it was December.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. And ironically, you're from Louisville. Uh-huh. And I have a friend from Louisville named Jackie. And you had painted something through Able. And I had started, I had put an office in the Able building.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just a universal, like everything kind of came together. I saw that you had painted something for Jackie, and I was like, that's so weird. She is at the Able office. I saw her. She was painting something for the Able office. And then I think we connected on Instagram.
Yeah, we did. So I have been working with Able Clothing, which is based here in Nashville, for the past year or so prior. And I knew that you were going to be setting up like a little mini office within that store, because you're not based in Nashville. You live in Knoxville.
Correct.
Or outside of Knoxville. So I was like, man, that's really cool. And I looked you up. I'm like, man, she looks really interesting. And I had not planned on getting into fashion at all. I just kind of really stumbled into, and it's really not a stumble. It was like I followed the intuitive hits and I ended up at Able. So then when I ended up at Able, I started painting on leather, and then I tried painting on other things, because formerly before that, I was just painting on canvas. And then you showed up and I'm like, oh, she's a stylist. I wonder if I could be of service to her.
Yeah.
And so I messaged you on Instagram and said, hey, would you like to talk about how I can be of service to your clients? And then we set a date. And
our first meeting, it was like, click.
I know. And I was funny. I've been thinking about this a lot in preparation for this inaugural episode. And what could have been a 20-minute conversation turned into like, it was 2.5 hours later. And we're like leaning in, like, what do you think about aliens? And we're like, oh yeah, well, when I did this, and I mean, it was just all of a sudden. It
sidetracked very quickly.
It sidetracked really quickly.
It was no longer about painting or dresses.
But I think for me, the thing that I walked away from that, and I don't think I've told you this yet, but the thing I walked away from, or I walked away with after talking with you, is I personally felt so expansive. I felt like having that conversation with you about creativity and about our lives and our journeys. And it was very much like I was in the pocket of possibility when I left that space. And I came home.
I get that often, especially when I'm with other creatives.
Oh, okay.
When I sit with them, I feel that feeling like, and that's why I believe, and that's why I wanted to do this podcast, is I believe that this frequency that creatives have heals people.
Yeah.
And when we get together, we expand.
Yeah.
And that is a feeling, like I frequently feel that feeling.
So you tell us a little bit about like your creative history, because you're a stylist now.
Yes.
And specifically
a designer and a stylist. So
in the fashion industry.
In the fashion industry, yes.
Yeah.
So I kind of, I have a tendency to jump and not know how deep the water is. Head first, no feet. Like I'm just diving in. And I wanted to get a little more security or stability, and I was on the road a lot in the music industry. So I was in the music industry for a very long time, all things live event. So it started live event. I've always been in live events. And that is how my life has panned out.
Yeah, we're not just live events either. We're talking like live events, big industry, musicians, 60,000
or more
or plus audiences.
Right.
And you are the tour manager.
So tour manager, production manager, photographer, assistant, videographer, laundry, caterer, like any aspect of that industry is what I have done. Any of those roles. And I think a lot of people on the road tend to also have many hats when they're on the road. So when you're working with a band, no matter how small or big, is that your crew is very important to you in the aspect that they can take on any of those roles.
Right.
So, and a similar maybe to what you did in the medical industry, but you have to know a lot of things about a lot of things.
You have to know a lot, and you have to be able to step in. So my background is in medicine. I got a lot of different backgrounds, but probably my most time was spent in the medical field, and specifically in the operating room. And it's the kind of thing where I would imagine if I'm trying to find a parallel between your experience in the music industry and my experience in the operating room, it would be that despite the best plans, the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry, right? Yeah. So no matter how much you prepare, there's always going to be a moment where chaos ensues. And people have to know not only what their role is, but they have to be able to kind of survey the scene and say, okay, this role that I would normally do, or this person would normally do, is not being done because they're too busy taking care of this. And so everybody can kind of step in and, take it up.
And that is exactly how it is. You were saving lives. We were,
saving lives in a different way.
It truly, and I believe that. That's why I think you and I kind of connected on that frequency, is that we both were in the business of raising frequencies.
I didn't think that when I was in the operating room. I thought I was in the business of like, can I get through this?
No, I mean, but what's funny is that when I am on site or at a venue and things are going crazy, or somebody's losing their shit over something, I tell them, like, this is not brain surgery. We're not saving any lives here.
Right.
It's going to be okay.
Right.
Take it down and let's move on. What's the solution that needs to happen? Ideally, what are you looking for?
Right.
They'll tell me, okay, sounds great. How do we make that happen? If we can't make that happen, what's the next best thing?
Right.
So I'm very good at keeping people in line, organized, and work very, very well under pressure.
Yeah.
Like if there was ever a zombie apocalypse, I'm your girl. Listen, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to organize people. I have a plan. That is how I operate.
Okay.
And I like to fight.
Hey, you would love it in the operating room.
Right.
So this first episode of this podcast, we really wanted, you and I have talked about this ad nauseum prior to filming. We really wanted to talk about frequency.
Yes.
And what frequency means and how we bring our own authentic frequency to whatever we do, right? So to segue into that, here you and I are talking about my life in the operating room, your life as a tour manager, and the commonalities. And what I'm hearing and what I'm putting together in my head is that we both tried to bring a frequency of peace and calm. And I had the very first surgeon for whom I worked said, well, maybe yours was with fist and mine,
they were knocked out.
Mine
they were
was
peaceful.
I had a scalpel. But my very first surgeon said, when everybody loses their head, keep yours, you might need it.
Yes.
And I think that there's like a frequency there,
It took me a long time, I have to say, to tap into that frequency. And that's the other part of, I think, doing this podcast is like allowing people to be aware of their frequency.
Yeah.
Like that frequency is so important. And when people are like, man, I walked into a room and everything changed. It was weird. That guy, it's real. It's not
real.
woo-woo. People call it woo-woo, but it's science.
Yeah.
And they've actually measured it. It's measurable.
Right.
And we've talked about this.
Yeah, and I think science is just now catching up with what all the woo-woo people, the spiritual people
Knew all
have
along.
been talking about for
Yeah.
thousands of years.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you've got this giant Buddha head behind you. I mean, that
You're
people
way
been-
more woo-woo than I am, but I believe.
well, I think I'm way more studied with the woo-woo.
Oh, okay.
I think you're very like you have this gear, and I think this is one of the reasons why we get along so well, despite our, you know, seemingly very different
Environmental
backgrounds,
yep.
everything, is that the frequency that we both resonate with in each other is this deep inner knowing.
Yeah.
That I think just takes time. I mean, for me, it was an inner knowing. I call it intuition that I ignored for so many years until it just came knocking really hard. And then you're like, okay, I really need to listen to this.
Yeah.
And I see that in you as well. You know, we're both in our 50s. We've both been through life in various different ways, in various different traumas and tragedies and triumphs and everything in between. And for me, my big thing, whether I'm an artist or I'm a heart surgeon or I'm a yoga teacher or I'm like selling flowers on the side of the interstate, if I'm following my intuition, that's all I care about anymore because it's so important to me.
Absolutely.
It never steers me wrong.
No. And I have jumped ship a few times immediately because I went, something's off. Right. And it was not a good financial decision to make at the time.
Yeah.
But there's no amount of money that you could have paid me for me to stay in that situation.
Yeah.
And that was just strictly knowing like, this isn't good. This is way below what the frequency I'm operating at right now. Yeah.
I think so. To piggyback on that, I think one of the things that I would like for people to take away from our time, you know, for them like spending the time to listen to us and hear our stories, is that one of the other things that you and I think have in common is the willingness to leave a situation that was no longer serving us, no matter what that looked like on the surface. So you say, financially, I chose not to take this road.
Yep.
Financially, that was a logic could have come behind it and said, Leah, that you're an idiot. You would have made so much money.
I have done that too, and learned
the hard way. But there was something inside of you in that one particular moment that was like, it's not right. I'm going to trust my gut on this one.
Yeah.
And it ended up to your benefit.
Right.
I did the same thing. I finally had found like the dream job in medicine for me as a physician assistant. You
had so much more to lose. I've been on the road for so many years. It was gigging, you know. I didn't have that super security except for what my hustle was. But you walked away from a very stable, a very secure career. It wasn't just a job. You had a career.
I had a career, but I mean, I think stability is a frame of mind, right? Like, seriously. I mean,
I don't think people know that though.
I don't think people know that. I think for me to walk away from a 14, almost 15 year career in medicine, where I had gotten to a point where I was working for the best cardiology group in my city. I had a great schedule. I had a great gig. Everything was great. And then one day, despite everything being great, this is not sustainable. I can't keep doing this anymore.
And the minute you feel that,
you can't go back.
Cannot go back.
I think that what I hope to be a light for other people is to give other people permission to really examine if they're in that position of, oh my God, this is not sustainable anymore, but it's security and it's all these things, to really give people permission to say, but what is on the other side of that? Like, to get curious about what would happen if I were to take a different path, the path that's calling me, that's pulling me from the inside.
And that path could be cardiology. Like, to be honest, it can be working at McDonald's.
Right.
It can be the best Subway sandwich maker in the universe. Like, it doesn't matter as long as you follow the frequency and as long as you are aligning yourself in the right way. There was something that I wrote in my notes, and it was that we as a human beings organize ourselves around shared frequency. Yeah. So if you have this frequency that is, in cardiology or helping or healing or whatever that may be, and those people will automatically be drawn into your space.
Yeah.
And if that's how you want to operate, and that's good. That is a good thing. I don't want people to think that, if you're not in the music industry or you're not an artist, just kind of like how we are, like, that's not the point here.
That's not the point. And at a time in my life, going into medicine was the exact thing that I wanted to be doing, I needed to be doing. That's why I made the decision. I mean, I actually was teaching high school biology when I got to the point where I'm like, this is not sustainable anymore. This feels for me, it's always a feeling of physical contraction.
Oppression.
Like, not oppression. I don't like that word as much, but it just feels like the things are closing in. It feels like I'm being crammed into a space that's too small and I can't breathe. And so I got that way teaching high school biology. I loved my job. I was at a great school. I loved the kids. I'd gotten to the point, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this is not working anymore. Right. And then the next step for me was to go into medicine. And that at that time in my life, where my frequency was at that time, it felt expansive.
Yep.
It felt like a new frontier. It felt like the place.
And you were
I needed
healing
to be.
people.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a big deal.
Well, I want to say this about the healing aspect and we can talk about the frequency of healing and what that means maybe in regards to music as well, because you believe that very strongly, that music and art and fashion heals people.
Yes, I do.
So there's the physical act of healing where you're actually doing surgery or you're, bandaging wounds or whatever you're doing to the physical body. And there's also the spiritual healing aspect, which is just as important. The reason why
massively, don't you feel it affects?
That's the reason why I left medicine, is because I was only tending to the physical body, and I could see the energetic, the emotional, the trauma behind the physical stuff that was contributing to it, but I didn't have time to speak to it. They don't call it
dis-ease for no reason.
Right. Disease. Yeah. 100%.
Something's off.
And I had,
unless you're like driving into a car, like a brick wall or something. But you know what?
Yeah.
People that get sick like that, they have a dis-ease. Something's disconnected.
Yeah.
I believe that 100%, and I believe that music can heal that.
100%. And I when I left heart surgery and went to general cardiology, I told the surgeon that I was working with at the time, who is hands down one of the most, if not the most respected heart surgeon in my hometown. And he's a great dude, and I had a lot of respect for him. We had a great relationship. And I sat in his office and I told him what I was going to be doing, and he was like, oh man, he's like, what a waste. And he really meant it. Like, because that for him was a compliment to me, because he was so specific. And I was like, wow, you really think I'm good at what I do, that you think it's a waste that I'm leaving.
And he believes in what he does.
What a waste of talent is what he said. And I said, Sam, I have more talent than just being able to operate. And in my mind, I'm like, there are other ways to heal people.
Right.
Than
100%
physically sewing them back together.
Yeah. And we need them. Like I said, I don't want it to be that this is the only way. Like I said, people that make sandwiches or clean homes or fill, or dog groomers or vets. It doesn't matter what you do, as long as you resonate with it, and that frequency is a very high vibration, and in your heart that's what you are here to do. Because that's the other thing I truly, truly believe, is that we made a contract before we came here. We said we were going to do these things, and when you don't do those things, bad shit happens. When you do those things, you escalate into whatever the next thing is going to be.
Oh, now we're getting into the woo-woo. That's like my favorite.
Little woo-woo stuff.
Okay, so I want to put like a pin in that, because I love,
we'll go down the rabbit hole real quick.
I love this concept of when you are, what you just described, I would call being in alignment with your truth, right? Like we have this higher self, like this part of our soul that's kind of like our own version of a guardian angel that like is always kind of like, well, but maybe come over here, and you're like, I'm doing it my way.
Yeah.
But if you're in alignment with your truth, then things tend to go not comfortably, but smoothly. Like you can.
But they always show up.
But they always show up.
Yeah.
And then so I want to put a pin in that. But maybe what we should do is talk about, like, I'm curious as to what you mean when you say the word frequency. Like, how do you define frequency?
So frequency to me is measurable energy. Mm-hmm. I can feel it when I walk in. Maybe I'm just more sensitive, but I can feel it when I walk into rooms. I can feel it. I've seen it with my own eyes, standing side stage, watching a band play, and watching 50,000 people move at the same time. Mm. And they're hypnotized by it.
It's a great visual.
It is a frequency that they can't even help themselves, because they're attached to it now.
Yeah.
It's a literal physical thing.
Yeah.
And that to me is what frequency is.
Yeah.
And that it is in every kind of life form, in everything.
you wrote in your notes, frequency is the emotional architecture. So we both had notes before the show.
We shared notes, yes.
Leah said, frequency is the emotional architecture that shapes how humans connect, create, perform, heal, and express identity.
That is the truth.
That's it.
That is it.
And
it is a true, tangible thing to me.
Yeah.
To me, I can feel it, I can see it, I can smell it.
And I think it creates the keynote, when I look back through all of your notes that you made, the key connection that I feel like you believe in, and I think this is important too, is that frequency is emotional. Like
very.
So we have in my worldview, we have our spiritual body and we have our physical body. And there's probably way more than that, but I'm just massively oversimplifying. And our physical body is our barometer for the things that we can't see, right? So how does our physical body alert us to frequencies that we can't see? Through emotions.
Yeah.
And there's other physical things too, like your gut system and, your heart rate and all these other.
We've talked about that.
We've talked about that
in a different episode.
But specifically, like when I looked back through your notes, you mentioned the word emotion many times. And I think that's, when we experience emotions, there are neurochemicals that are released into the body that regulate us or dysregulate us, and
it's how we survive. It's how we have survived this many years, because if we didn't have those emotions, fight, flight, anger, sadness, joy, happiness,
there's love and fear, and everything comes down. Everything comes down underneath that.
Those are truly the only two emotions in the world. Yeah. Everything else is under that. But if we didn't have that, we'd be dead.
Right.
We'd be a fish.
Right. And so then when we're looking at, for the purpose of this podcast, which we're exploring frequency and how it shows up in all the creative arts, which is what we do.
Yeah. Even fashion is
fashion.
Shallow as people think fashion is, because I feel like a lot of woo-woo people are like, well, that's materialistic but I believe that fashion has a frequency. And I believe that when you put things on your body that are in alignment with who you are or what it is, it raises your vibration.
I have to give a shout out to my partner, Pete, who is our production manager on this podcast.
Our director, cameraman.
Our director. Yeah. He's everything behind the camera. So when Pete and I first started dating, I had come from a long relationship that ended with a man who wasn't very kind. And what I physically wore, he would approve of or disapprove of, right? That other person.
Absolutely not.
So then I get into, and I wasn't like a total like wet noodle with that, but I still, sometimes it was easier to just go with the flow than it was to put up a fight. So when I met Pete and now we just pretty much wear sweats all the time. Back when we actually had places fancy to go, I'd come down in, an outfit and I would say, how does this look on me? How does this look? Does this look okay? And he'd say, how does it make you feel?
I say that all the time to my clients.
And I said, I really like how I look in this. And he said, good, because happy looks good on you.
Period. And I say that to my clients all the time. How does it make you feel? Because I'm not putting clothes on them for my benefit.
Right.
I'm putting clothes on them for their benefit.
Right.
And if it makes you feel confident, beautiful, a little more fierce than you normally would be, maybe.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why I do it.
But anybody who, when you said before about, sometimes the woo-woo people are like, you shouldn't put emphasis on how you look.
I get that.
But that's also taking a stance in the opposite direction. That's also putting emphasis on not looking a certain way. Right. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's a flip side of the same coin.
That's part of, I think, the human, our human construct and what our socially we should be doing and how this should be and how that should be and this box and that box. And that's, again, why I wanted to do this podcast is I'm tired of boxes. I don't care about any of the shit.
There's something happens at 50 where you're like,
done.
Especially with women, you're like, get me out of the fucking box.
Yeah, cannot stand it anymore. And wear what you want to wear, wherever the fuck you want to wear. I wear like full blown head to toe for cleaning my house. I don't care. I'm not dressing for you. I'm dressing for me. I want to feel beautiful. And I connect, for whatever reason, I connect especially with old clothes, sparkly clothes, like things that feel
luxurious,
or make a statement.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I am the same with fashion specifically. I feel very strongly about what I wear, but for me, it's like overalls all day, every day. I have Pete'll joke around. He's like, I'm like, okay, I'm wearing overalls, I'm painting. And we'll decide to go out to dinner, and I'll be like, okay, let me go put my good overalls on.
No, but that makes it, that's like,
but that's who I am, and that's who I've always been as a kid. You know, I just happened to get into this relationship where it was like, but your ass looks better in the Juicy Couture sweatpants, and I'm like, but what about my
me?
What about my over? It may, that may be true, but that's not
who you are.
That's not who I am. Yeah. So I think this frequency of like, I love this whole, like when Pete says like, well, how do you feel in what you're wearing?
Thing, that's all I do now. That's my barometer for everything.
Happy looks good on you.
How do I feel?
Yeah.
Good, bad, no, yes. And that's where I go now.
One of the other things that you said, okay, this is a good transition point. When I was looking back through your notes, when we're talking about now frequency, which can elicit an emotional response, and versus resonance.
Yeah, that's huge for me.
So talk about that.
So I feel like everybody can have frequency. Resonance is when you have a visceral reaction to it. That is resonance to me. Mm-hmm. When you're on the same wavelength as someone, that is resonance. We're all frequency, right? Here, there, everywhere, but when it hits like that, there's nothing you can do about it. It makes the hair stand up on your arms and the back of your neck. Like it's something visceral happens to you when it resonates with you.
And something visceral can happen with dissonance, which would be the opposite of resonance, which would be
that's
like
scary.
In dissonance, it's like you're vibing here and maybe somebody's vibing here, and it's not a match.
Correct.
And it feels off in your body. Again, we're coming back to the body as the barometer. Yeah. Your body will elicit a response. Yeah. And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
And the interesting thing, like when I looked up resonance, like the definition of resonance, and I love this, it's like, I'm paraphrasing here, but it's like Leah comes in with a frequency that's here. Peyton comes in with a frequency that matches Leah's frequency. And together, sharing that same frequency, the amplitude
it amplifies
can go higher.
Amplifies it for sure.
Than we could separately.
For sure. You'll see that in music a lot. So, and I think I wrote something on that, but music, when it happens and people resonate with it, you can feel it it has a radius. It just pours out of this.
Do you have a specific, like, I'm fascinated with the life that you've led up until this point, and I'd like to share that with the audience a little bit. Do you have a specific, like when you talk about when you can see the resonance grow and spread, like is there a specific moment that comes to mind for you in your tour experience?
There's so many, but and I'm sure you have experienced it in the audience, but I will see people leave their bodies. Audience, and an artist is singing. Sammy does it all the time. People that follow Sammy Hagar, yeah,
is one of the musicians that you have worked with extensively over the years, right?
You can see them almost levitate, which is a weird thing to say.
The audience?
Yeah, you see them here, right? He gets on, he's playing, and the level of the audience gets higher. Physically, like eye level gets, and you can see them. I don't know how else to describe it. It feels like they're levitating.
Do you feel like you're the only one who's seen that, or
no?
Other people that you've worked with?
I think they know it.
Yeah,
I think they're feeling it. I think the people in the audience are feeling it.
Yeah,
and I think that's why when they leave, they feel changed, or why they come back. Some of these people come. They've been to there's people that have gone to 360 shows.
Yeah.
The people that will travel across the country to see him. The Grateful Dead had the same effect on people. And I believe that is resonance. It's something that moves people physically and emotionally at the same time.
So what do you think, having worked with Sammy for so long, what do you think it is about him specifically as a musician that can affect that? Because I can imagine, like, you've worked with lots of different musicians, and not all of them have that same.
Sorry, I'm going to play footsie with you. I think that it has to do with authenticity. So if where the well and the source that Sam connects into is 100% pure, whatever's coming out of him is truth.
Yeah.
He doesn't hide it.
Truth for him. Truth for him.
But when you stand in your truth and you shine that light, you can't ignore it. People cannot ignore what he is saying. And a lot of people, again, they'll find they resonate with it.
Yeah.
Because they know he's not lying he's telling the truth, and they know it. And I say this a lot, and we had a conversation about it, but artists that write things from I have to write a song. My label wants me to put another song out. We know it.
Right.
We can tell. I'm sorry, but if you don't, you're not in tune.
Versus a song that's been like,
example.
I have to do this for, I have to write this song because I'm obligated, and sure. I as an artist don't really resonate with the subject matter, but this is what my management, production company, whatever wants me to put out, and it feels inauthentic.
For sure.
It doesn't resonate as much as somebody like on the flip side, like Sammy. Or
they're not tuned in.
Right.
So when they're writing, I could sit and write a song, to be honest with you. Like anybody can.
Well, you can now with AI.
Well, but I feel like I'm going to just say this out. I have a poet's soul. And so I can probably write something that would work.
I'm like, you're just like a shiny disco ball. I want to turn around. Yeah. I'm like, what facet are we looking at now?
Hang on, let me switch my hats. But I feel like when someone writes a song, and people will know you wrote that straight from your heart. 1000%. It's so moving,
Yeah.
There's a lot of Led Zeppelin songs that do it.
Yeah.
And they come from these tragic places, right? Eric Clapton, like that song to this day, can't listen to it.
Yeah.
I'll cry.
Yeah.
Literal tears. I'll cry.
James Hetfield's another one that you've worked with that has that like guttural like experience that he then, I'm assuming,
can scream and you
like
can feel it.
He's alchemizing his emotions
for sure
into a frequency that other people who need to alchemize those same emotions resonate with.
They're like, thank you.
Yeah.
You gave us the well. We know where to pull from now.
Right.
But yeah, and I think it's true. I think sadness, happiness, we talked about this. I think love, it doesn't have to be tragic. Right. It can be something, but it has to be true.
It has to be true.
It cannot be bullshit. People, especially now, people are awakening. I know, we can't keep tricking them.
Right.
We can't keep putting out. And again, sometimes you just want to be happy. One of my favorite songs that I love, don't laugh. Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Like, I don't give a shit what's happening. I'm going to dance.
It's a great song.
It makes me happy.
Yeah.
But when she was singing it or whatever she was making, at that point, it was true for her.
Right.
And it comes across as true, and I love it, and it makes me happy.
So truth has a frequency.
1000%.
Yeah. I love this idea. Like, truth has a frequency, and that frequency could be the frequency of a fear-based emotion, or it could be the frequency of a love-based emotion. But truth in and of itself
has a frequency. Do not write bullshit.
We broke the fourth wall.
If you could learn nothing else from us.
Don't write bullshit in front of Leah.
Right. I'm going to call you out. I'll call you out for sure.
It's funny. So as an artist, can I jump off of that point?
Oh, yeah,
I was going to say, like...
I went on a tangent.
No, that's okay. So I think the frequency of truth, I think, for me, as we're talking now, I'm like, that kind of trumps all other frequencies, because it doesn't matter. As long as you're being truthful,
right.
And I would say as long as you're in alignment with your truth, then that's going to resonate with the people it's supposed to resonate with, and you will experience success. So
back to that point, we organize around those we share a frequency with.
Right.
So there are those. You are not alone.
Yeah, and it's this whole like colloquialism of is like your vibe attracts your tribe.
It's a bumper sticker, but it is the truth.
It's a bumper sticker for a reason.
Right.
Slap that on a piece of barn board and throw it on the wall. It's like that for a reason, yeah. Right? And more importantly, you can change your vibe.
Yes.
And I would imagine yours. No,
give me 15 minutes. I'll be total different.
Give me a Diet Coke and a bag of Cheetos, and my vibe is very happy. I'm good. But I think that's also too, like, one of the pitfalls or one of the traps into which I have fallen during my, I'll call it a spiritual journey, even though it's another like bumper sticker colloquialism. It's the truth, is that I have to pick a lane and stay in it. Right. And as an artist, I thought I didn't start painting until August of 2020. So I'm only 6 years into an art career. I mean, I left medicine to be a life coach, and then COVID hit. And I realized the intuitive hit to get out of the medical field was actually to get me out of the hospital before COVID hit.
That's crazy.
Not because I was going to be the best life coach. I was like, Spirit was like, it's time to go. And I'm like, are you sure? And they're like, yep, it's time to go.
It's always little nudges. I think that's all we can handle, right?
In my heart. And I was building up a coaching program anyway. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm leaving medicine because it's time to go. It was starting to feel constrictive despite the best circumstances that you could have in my job. And I left, but it was to get, and then I'm like, it's going to be because I'm going to be a great life coach. And then all of a sudden COVID hit. And I'm like, wow, I'm not in the hospital when all my former colleagues are worried if they're going to die or not. So I digress there, but I didn't start painting until during COVID. I was like, there's got to be a way to get joy back into my life. What did I used to do as a kid?
Yeah.
That I stopped doing because adulting happened.
Right.
And I can go back to that place of joy. And I was like, it's painting. So that's where it all started.
It's all little nudges, because I think at that point, same as me, I wasn't ready. I would have crumbled under the pressure of following my authentic self.
What point of your career you mean?
I think it happened probably, so there were turning points like you. It happened progressively.
Right.
So there was a point where I was working in a corporate job, still doing events, but it was kind of corporate. And the metal militia guys came in and kind of had known them, and one of them who passed away while writing, but this was prior to, had come up and said, "Hey, you should have a shot with us." And I said, "I can't, I'm on the clock." And he looked at me and he said, "Whose clock?" I left the next day.
What did that do for you? What did that question spark?
I don't know.
Yeah,
it instantly hit me, and I was like, whose clock am I on? Why am I not on my own clock? What the fuck is going on? Like, it was just like so eye-opening. And I turned in my resignation the next day.
Yeah.
Actually got fired the next day because I told the guy to fuck off. But that's a whole nother story.
We'll just say turn in your resignation.
I turned in my resignation by saying, fuck you. It was official after that. And then I got escorted off property. But I immediately, to make sure that, and this was in like 2000 and it was early 2000s. But to make sure that I would never go back to that, I went and tattooed my hands. Because I was like, I refuse to ever
Why would tattooing your hands keep
They wouldn't hire me in a I couldn't get a job at a hotel or at a venue back then. You know what I mean? Because you had to cover your tattoos.
You know, I let my medical license expire so that I wouldn't be tempted to go back into medicine.
There's something that we do,
like,
right?
I have
I'm
to
not
let
going to
this,
go back.
if I go through it would just have been filing paperwork.
Right.
And I'm like, they kept sending me letters. You're expiring. You've got a 30-day grace period. You got a 60-day grace period. And I'm like,
nope.
No, because I don't want the option. That was a door I was willing to close.
And that was scary, right?
Yeah. No, because I just knew, like there was an inner knowing, right? So I think, the reason why I launched into this like tangent about, leaving medicine, starting painting, all this kind of stuff is because we were talking about your vibe attracts your tribe, and you can change your vibe.
Right.
Right. And I think, the person that I was when I left the hospital, the person that I was when I first started painting is a very different frequency than where I am now.
Yeah.
And I think one of the other things that I personally love about myself, and I think this is true of you too, is a willingness to always look within and question, okay, what is true for me now? What was true for me yesterday doesn't have to be true for me now because
and
it
it's
changed.
Okay.
Because in my opinion, if you're doing it right, then it should change.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think there is a stigmatism against that.
Against
change. People like well, today she's this, tomorrow she's that. And I'm
100%.
You know what I mean? And they're like,
Yes.
she might be bipolar. And it's like, who fucking cares, dude? She's doing what she wants to do. That's where I am. I'm like, one day I'm this and one day I'm that. I wake up, I don't, whatever's going to happen this day, I'm going to do it.
Because that's your truth.
It is my
Your
truth.
truth is as being fluid to take on different things and different hats. The frequency of your truth is allowing yourself to be multi-passionate and try different things.
I'm very multi-passionate.
And I want to be really careful to say, like, that's not to knock the frequency of somebody else's truth, which may be
steady.
I'm a welder and I'm going to be a welder forever because I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
And that gives them comfort.
And that's their truth.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. Like comfort, like
I think that's what we need to keep going back to is it your truth?
Is it your truth?
Yeah.
Are you in alignment with your own truth?
Yeah.
When I was coaching people, I would say when you get into alignment with your own truth, when you will eventually and inevitably raise your own frequency, right, to a higher frequency. And I don't want to get into hierarchical, but you'll vibe a little bit higher, right, when you're following your own truth. So everybody who was benefiting off of you being down here, all of a sudden, bloop, you go up here, and one of three things happens. These people try to pull you back down.
Yeah.
They disappear completely, or best case scenario, boop, they rise up to meet you.
Right.
Very
few have risen.
Your only job is to keep following your truth and trust that no matter what happens down here, because two of those three scenarios are people disappear out of your life or they become assholes, right, and try to bring you back down again. No matter what happens down here, your only job is to do what's right for you, to follow the frequency of your own truth.
Sometimes really hard to do.
That's why people don't do it, man.
Yeah.
So I think
because I don't like to be judged. I have a really when I'm judged, I feel, and I think that's just from being raised in a cult. Judgment was a bad thing. So.
We've entered the cult territory.
When I get judged, I want to scorch earth.
Same.
Period.
Same.
But I feel like now I'm to the point where, so it was hard for me to follow my truth for a long time. I had to take baby steps.
Yeah.
I had to do this and then I had to do that. And people, I'm sure, and in my mind, I'm sure people were like, oh, look at what she's doing now. And now I can be like, fuck you, I don't care. I don't care if today I'm a stylist and tomorrow I'm a tour manager and next week I'm a photographer and the week after that I'm baking bread. It's none of your business.
Right.
I now can say that confidently.
Yeah.
But it took a long time.
And I think the service, I because of my spiritual practice, I talk to, we'll say spirit, I hate that word too, but I have like a communication with my spirit guides, my mentors, all these things.
You don't have to do this when you say spirit guides. They're real. They're real.
I know they're real, but I mean, like under the umbrella of everything spiritual, we call spirit, right?
Right.
So the umbrella is spirit. But I can't tell you how many times on this journey since I left something quote unquote stable, what society would see as stable, and started to forge my own path, I have said to myself, okay, guys, what am I doing here? What's my purpose?
Give me a sign.
Feel like I'm going in 1,000 different directions. What is my job? And so I'll go. I have a shamanic practice, so I'll go into journey. I'll walk in. I'll get in front of my guides. I'll be like, "What's my life's purpose?" And they're like, "It's to be a light." And I'm like, "That's not enough. What's my purpose?"
Have you heard that?
How many times they've said it in various different ways, metaphors, you name it. I'm a lighthouse on the shore when all these people are out in the dark ocean and they can say, it's not walk into the ocean to save people. It's stand up on the shore and be a light so that the people who choose to move toward a different way of being and get themselves out of the ocean can follow the light. And I'm like, you guys, come on, man. That's so trite.
Have you heard the story of the little light?
No, but can I finish this thought really quickly?
Oh, absolutely.
Pin in the story of the little light. But my point in that is I think one of our gifts, and hopefully one of the gifts of this podcast, is that we can serve. I finally realized, just to be a light is to share your own authentic light.
For sure.
So that other people can see it and maybe feel like if she can do it, I can do it.
Right. 1,000%.
If she can leave everything that she ever knew to be true and a job that's like, let me tell you, when you walk into a crowd, and I'm sure you've experienced this from your position. When you walk into a crowd and people say, what do you do? And you're like, I do heart surgery. They're like, jaws hit the floor.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing. You walk into a crowd. What do you do? I manage Sammy Hagar. I mean, I know I was like, I know, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's who you work with. And I know when I met you, I was like, oh my God. But if it's not your truth anymore, it's not your truth anymore.
Right.
That's it.
And it's not that I had a problem with it too, like taking it down a notch. Like I don't ever want to,
when you say when you mean like dropping the hustle culture, is that what you mean by taking it down?
Also, who I think I really, my ego was really in it because of who I worked with.
Yeah.
So all of these people that I worked with in the entertainment industry really fed into my ego. When I sat in a room, I could say, oh, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm at the point where it's, that doesn't matter to me anymore. Yeah. Am I doing what makes me happy?
Yeah.
And am I doing it with no names? It doesn't matter. Is it making me happy?
Yeah. And I think,
am I finding joy in it?
Are you finding joy? And I think we were talking about this also, this concept of you're either in service to self or service to others.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So the question that I've been asking myself lately is, okay, am I in service to self or am I in service to others?
And I don't think there's anything wrong with being in service to self when you need to.
When you need to, but that's also, it's the frequency, it's the vibration of, am I doing something to be of service to others or am I doing something to be of service to ego?
For sure.
Because taking care of yourself is also honoring other people.
It is.
Right? Like
1000%.
Like making sure that I have enough sleep and that I'm fed is being of service to my partner Pete so he doesn't have to deal with an angry, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so taking care of yourself is taking care of others too. But it's this bigger frequency of, am I supporting goodness in the world? Am I in alignment with my truth and with the greater truth that we are all connected and that we all are just walking each other home, you know, like as Ram Dass famously said. So I think that from where I am currently in my artistic career in my life, is basically I wake up and say, okay, God, you know what my skill set is. God, goddess, whatever, you know what my skill set is, and you know what makes me happy better than I do sometimes. So bring me the experiences, the people, the places, the
surrendering,
things.
just letting it go.
Surrender, that word.
It's a good one, right?
It's a good one. It's so hard to do, but when you do it,
I feel good when I do that. That's kind of what I've decided I'm doing this time, because I'm not pushing anything. Because I used to hustle, grind, push, had to figure out what I was doing next, and a gig here and a gig there, and I have to be the best. And I need my name out there. I need people to know it. I need to know people that people. I work with these people, and now I'm like, I don't care anymore. I'm just surrendering. Like, just go ahead and let it go. Like the last bit of this life that I'm here with, I'm gonna just whatever happens, happens.
I love it.
Yeah, it's okay too.
Let's talk about so one of the things we wanted to do with this podcast was to share what's on our minds lately. Like what are you listening to? Like, you love music, right?
I do.
Or what are you creating?
You just actually introduced me to someone that I think I should share. Okay. And that is our beautiful director, producer, cameraman, audio guy. Pete goes by his stage name is Iron Monk. Uh-huh. And you played it for me in the car last night. Yeah. And I love punk rock music.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is Lemmy.
Yeah.
And if you guys like Lemmy, go listen to Iron Monk Babylon. That's my tip of the day.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm sure Pete would. I know Pete, who is like right out of camera shot right now. And that is like a high compliment.
It's good. Yeah. It's amazing. It makes you feel something. That is what music needs for me to listen to it. I have to feel something, and that makes me feel like I said when I listen to Motorhead, I'm like, let's fucking go. That's how it feels. So that's my album for the day.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Well, we can tag that in the show notes too. So I think for me, I just picked up this book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. And it is basically, in a nutshell, I'm still at the beginning of it, but in a nutshell, at the beginning, it's talking about there's a growth mindset and a static mindset when you're talking about people, and it's flexible. So if you feel like you're stuck in a static mindset where you're just doing the same old thing and you're afraid to change, like how can you get into a growth mindset? And I feel like one of the reasons why I resonate with you is because you are in this, and I am in this growth mindset of okay, here's a problem. I'm not going to say, well, that's unfixable and walk away. I'm going to be like, okay, cool. How can I change this? How can we grow? Like, give me something and let's get in there and let's do it. Let's create, And I love that. And the other thing that I wanted to leave us with, because so being an intuitive person, a lot of the times before I teach a class or before I do a podcast or before anything I'm doing with other people, I will hear things, right? Or references to quotes or something like that. And so what I kept hearing was 2 Mary Oliver quotes. Mary Oliver is a famous poet, right? And one of them is from her poem Wild Geese, which says, I love this, you do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. And I love that. Like, you don't have to like self-flagellate, like, oh, I got to be good. You know, you just have to like.
I think that's the whole point of this.
That's the whole point of this. Like, let love what you love. Like, get in alignment with what you love and what your truth, and spread joy. And that's all you have to do. It's that simple.
It is that simple. And I hope that everybody out there, I'm breaking the fourth wall, hears this and understands
Pete
that.
said before we started this podcast, whatever you do, but don't break the fourth wall. And I looked at Leo, I was like, okay.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
We're going to.
Yeah. And then the last Mary Oliver is, tell me what it is that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life.
Yes. Let's fucking go. We ride at dawn. Like, that's how I feel.
We ride at dawn.
Yes.
I love it.
That's how I feel.
So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us today on Beyond the Scene. And we hope we can be of service to you in some way with lots of joy and love and creation and good
fun
discussion
stories.
And fun stories. So,
and fashion and art and music.
Next episode is The Creative Rebel. Ooh. I'm sure you know nothing about that.
I resonate very much so with The Creative Rebel. Thanks guys for listening, and we will see you next time.
Mwah.